You're listening to an Ono Media podcast. Have you been keeping up with what's been happening with Princess Kate Middleton, all of the rumors that have been surrounding her? I mean, as we know, there are a lot of rumors and secrecy surrounding the royal family, and I'm about to dish you the most recent ones, the ones that everyone has been talking about. All right, since Princess Kate, or aka Kate Middleton, married Prince William in 2011, she's been featured in gossip columns and news stories constantly. Almost like her life wasn't her own anymore once she married him. Like she belongs to everybody now. In fact, she was famously photographed right after giving birth to her first baby, Prince George, in 2013. And at a time when a lot of new mothers don't even want to think about their appearance, she put on a full face of makeup, blew out her hair, she smiled outside the hospital in a cute polka dot dress with the baby in her arms, which just went to show how everything she did was a matter of public record. So it was a little shocking on January 17th, 2024, when Kensington Palace officials made an unexpected announcement. So all of this has just been happening recently. They said the day before, so January 16th, Kate had undergone a previously scheduled abdominal surgery. She was going to spend between 10 days and 2 weeks recovering in the hospital. And then after the princess was released, she'd be at home and out of the public eye until Easter, which this year falls on March 31st. Now, this is all very ominous. And the fact that Princess Kate is basically going underground. The statement didn't include any details about what this surgery entailed, what it was supposed to treat, or how serious it was. They just said that Kate wanted her life to feel as normal as possible, which meant maintaining some privacy around her health and well-being, which, fair enough, no need to share anyone's personal medical information with the world. Except there were a few strange details about this announcement, which is what's got people talking. First, it said that the surgery had been set up in advance, but nobody close to the royal family had heard anything about it beforehand. So apparently Kate's personal schedule went through a bunch of last-minute changes right before the operation, which suggested that she thought she'd be spending that time some other way. But then something came up that threw her plans into chaos. And you'd think, if this procedure was planned in advance, why wait until the day after to announce it? Why not say something beforehand? And if you think it's weird that they're announcing this, this is how the royal family goes. They keep everyone up to date on what's happening. It was actually enough that a few people wondered if maybe the surgery wasn't quite as pre-planned as the royal family had said. Like maybe Kate was receiving some kind of urgent emergency treatment. Either way, officially Kate stayed at the hospital until January 29th. So she was released after 13 days, which did fit the 10 to 14 day timeline the palace originally gave. But nobody with the press actually captured her leaving. There were no photos or any physical evidence that she was alive and well. Just a statement from the Crown that she was continuing her recovery at home. So again, Kate Middleton has suspiciously gone underground and no one has spotted her. And keep in mind, by this point, Kate hadn't been seen in public since Christmas. So it had been over a month. And afterward, she continued to stay out of sight, but not out of mind. After all, this was odd. A woman who posed for photos almost immediately after giving birth had just disappeared from the public eye entirely. Then, just a few days later, a Spanish news show called Fiesta released a report that kicked all of the speculation about Kate's health into overdrive. According to a reporter named Concha Colea, the reason nobody had seen Kate was because she was in a coma. Concha said that Kate's abdominal surgery went wrong somehow and she had almost died. The only way to save her life was actually to keep her unconscious, and Kate hadn't woken up since mid-January, and that's why nobody had heard from her or seen her. Now, right after this story broke, the Crown comes out and they're like, no. They deny everything. They called the coma story nonsense, that it was totally made up. And they also noted that nobody with Fiesta had done any formal fact checking to make sure their report was accurate. Now, maybe some people believed their denial, but later on that same month, Kate's husband, Prince William, suddenly canceled a public appearance. This was on February 27th, when William's godfather, King Constantine of Greece, was supposed to be honored in a memorial service. William wasn't just going to attend as a spectator. He was actually supposed to speak at the service. So it's a pretty big deal that he doesn't show. And when people asked why he wasn't coming, he just said that he had to handle what he called a personal matter. He also confirmed it didn't have anything to do with his father, King Charles, who'd recently been diagnosed with cancer. So as you can imagine, this left a lot of people speculating that he was canceling his plans to be with Kate instead. And this only stoked the rumors that something was seriously wrong with her. Like, this is a big deal if Princess Kate is in a coma. And since no one associated with the royal family would explain what was going on, people tried to explain it with their own tinfoil tales. That's our word for unverified speculation. You know, theories of a conspiratorial nature. One of the biggest tinfoil tales was that Kate's surgery went very badly, that she was in a coma, just like Fiesta's reporter said, or maybe even that she's died and the Crown was looking for some way to spin it before they announced her passing. It's giving Princess Diana. Other speculation was even wilder. Some people suggested that the abdominal surgery might not have ever even happened. Maybe the royal family has been lying from the very beginning. Kate might have been in rehab for a drug use disorder or an eating disorder. Or a lot of people thought that maybe Kate had left William and she was getting ready to file for divorce. One popular theory was maybe Kate underwent plastic surgery. Now, obviously, these theories couldn't all be true, but they did have a lot of potential to be embarrassing to the royal family. Nobody wanted people gossiping about drug rehab centers or plastic surgery or deaths or cover-up or divorce. So on March 10th, which is Mother's Day in the UK, Kate's Twitter account posted a photo of her with her kids. And this is, I mean, if you spend any time on social media at all, I'm sure you've seen this picture because it has been making its rounds. But just in case you haven't, it shows Kate sitting in a chair with her arms around Prince Louis and Princess Charlotte. Prince George is standing behind her with his arms around her neck. So Kate and her 3 children smiling, hugging, and generally looking happy, healthy, and well in the midst of all these rumors. Except for as soon as this picture went out, a lot of people thought it looked a little off. And it wasn't just the tinfoil tale fans who noticed some discrepancies. In fact, there were details in the picture that just aren't possible in real life. Kate's hair was a little blurry, and so was her daughter's sleeve. The fabric overlapped in a weird way. It was almost like someone had cut and pasted parts of a bunch of different pictures together into one. It was actually bad enough that the Associated Press, or the AP, put out a release saying they weren't going to distribute the photo because it had clearly been manipulated. This is a big deal because the Associated Press didn't just publish the picture for themselves. A lot of other major papers relied on the AP to provide them with pictures too. So when the Associated Press said the picture doesn't meet our standards, it meant a ton of other news groups were now also instructed to take it down because it doesn't meet standard. So a huge swath of the industry now knew that someone had faked these images. And now the very next day, an apology went out from Princess Kate's Twitter account, the same Twitter account who released this photo. She, or whoever was running it, said this was all a misunderstanding. Apparently, Kate claimed she'd edited the photo herself and she made those amateurish mistakes because, well, she's not a professional. And okay, maybe that's true. Maybe Kate was just quietly recovering from surgery and she took some time to play around with her photo editing software. And she unfortunately made some basic errors with the one and only picture of her to hit the press in months. It's possible, but it doesn't seem likely. Given how much scrutiny Kate is under right now, it's hard to believe she'd make such a big blunder on accident. This is a woman who's spent over a decade in the spotlight. She knows how it feels to be under a magnifying glass, no matter what she does. And she'd understand how bad it would look to poorly Photoshop a picture when people are spreading so much gossip about her whereabouts already. This made a lot of people think there must be something else to this manipulated photo. Someone might have edited it because they had no other choice. Like if Kate wasn't available for the shoot due to her health or some other reason. And if this family photo was supposed to shut down the rumors, it accomplished the opposite instead. Now the speculation is at a fever pitch. I don't know what's going on exactly. I don't think any of us will until whatever's going on finally comes to light, which is ironic. After Kate spent so much of her life in the public eye, the one move that brought her the most attention of all was stepping out of it. And now you're all caught up on the Kate Middleton drama.